sorts for the candle lighters.
Yeah.
But I sometimes like the idea of it maybe possibly picking up some of the congregants singing. So you don't have to turn it off. But I know sometimes folks do.
Copy. It's good to know.
Yeah. And thank you, really.
Yeah. I'm here to make the tech invisible, so that Shekinah can be here. You know, like that's.
That's lovely.
It's the whole point, right?
Definitely. Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. Thanks again. Okay.
You worried about the finish?
Well, it is almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this could be restored, but it's expensive. Like I said, we used to repair piano actions, and we had a guy there. He was a foreigner. I don't know what country he was, but he took really old pianos and made them look just beautiful inside and out. He was just very talented, you know.
we had a concert band at my last congregation that had to be restored. It was like 20,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. So there was a crack. It was a thread.
Oh my God. Norm, that's like my worst nightmare. It's getting a crack in my guitar.
I've had a guitar since I was 17. So Rabbi Green, what are you playing? Not only the drum, but just six.
Why? I'm not allowed.
I have a feeling you're the one that made the rule that you're not allowed.
Anytime you want to play with us.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Exactly. We're almost there. Am I on this side? I think so.
I think that's
And your mic's right there.
Thank you.
Of course.
So, yeah, it sounds it.
Yeah, only one speaker is working.
That's a drag.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, the amps are showing it's sending signal here, and nothing's coming out.
So for the next time.
Reason is because he's over.
That's probably a part of it.
And secondhand, if I remember correctly.
They weren't supposed to be. Gary, when he was the director, he said he was like so proud of like great sound system in here, and
I thought the speakers were secondhand.
that was like 12 years ago.
So, yeah, I mean, within any budget, there's the best thing you can do.
That makes so much more sense.
Even before you came, we were talking about replacing those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going back 15 years, it was like,
He's been up for 15 years?
oh, actually,
Gary was then like totally pulling my leg.
Well, which Gary though?
Pfeiffer.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh, it could have been Margolis. I see what you're
well, we were talking about a long time replacing.
Well, we were just talking about what we needed to do and figure. All right.
See what I put up with?
Yeah, I recently had the roots redone.
We have the drummer groupies in the front row.
Oh, we're waiting for Gabe. Oh, Gabe.
I don't really feel like that.
You don't feel like it?
Sorry, it's just not what we do here.
That's okay.
Hey,
Just fake it.
take that back.
Wait, Gabe. Where are you?
We're gonna start.
Oh, okay.
I remember. Well, friends, Shabbat Shalom. It's nice to have you here. Welcome. Come on in. Have a seat. Join us. We are going to begin on page 141. Page 141. And when you find that page, we're going to count down 9 lines. And just to make it more fun, if you have a prayer book that has 2 different page numbers, you're following the page number in blue brackets. So, page 141, count down 9 lines, turn around, raise up one leg. No, I'm kidding. 141.
And we want to hear your voices. So this is a singing community, so please join in.
Before we continue into our service, what we do every week, we're going to ask you to turn to someone in your vicinity whom you do not know and introduce yourself. Share your name. Wish a Shabbat Shalom. We've met one person. Okay? Yeah? Good. I'm going to test you. Lovely. We turn back. Page 120. We light our Shabbat lights. We bring God's light into this space, into our lives, into this Shabbat. Steve is going to come forward and help light our candles, and then we'll invite you to join along with Cantor Avery on 120. Off to a good start.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shabbat.
Thank you, Steve. Shabbat Shalom. Let's turn to page 123. We continue with our Kiddush, and I'm going to ask, we're bringing back a custom that we did BC, before COVID, where we had different folks who would come up and help make a Kiddush with us. So if, let's say, you are under 13 years old, we invite you folks to come forward and have a little juice, a little bit of a Kiddush juice with us. If you need to bring a parent, that's okay. They're allowed to come too. If this is a time of something special happening in your lives, whether it's your birthday or your anniversary or you won the lottery or you got a promotion.
It's your first time playing with Or Zimrah.
Or it's your first time playing with Or Zimrah. Something special that happened to you this week or this month, we invite you folks also to come up and join us and make a Kiddush. And for the rest, we invite you to stand as you are able. Hi, everybody. Come on over here. You can just hang out with me up here.
I kind of want to hang out with you too.
You can start, Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemahasei bereshit ki hu yom techilah lemikrahe kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Can you say l'chaim? Maybe not. Okay, we're going to drink it anyway. Wonderful. Hey, you did it. You can put your cups right over here.
We're going to continue on page 138 with L'Chadodi, and as is our custom, we are going to rise as we are able for the last verse and face the entrance, welcoming in the bride of Shabbat. Verses 1 through 5 and 9.
סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לחדותי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לחדותי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלכים מלוכה ומצאי מתוך ההפכה רב לך שרת וערב לבבה יחמול עלייך אמנה לחדותי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לחדותי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה La לחדותי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת קלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבל, יאללה לה 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 לחדותי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת קלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבל. על יד בן ישי ותלמי קורא אל נפשי אלה יאללה יאללה לה 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 לחדותי יאללה לה 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 לקראת קלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת פני שבת נקבל יאללה לה 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 לחדותי יאללה לה 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 לקראת קלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת פני שבת נקבל התעוררי la 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 la, Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat, Nekavela, Ovi v'shalom, Atzeret bala, Gam besimcha, U'sohola, Toch emunei, Segula, Bo'wi chala, Bo'wi chala, Yai lai lai, Ya la 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 lecha dodi, Ya la 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 likrat kala, Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nekaven, Ya la 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 lecha dodi, Ya la 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 likrat kala, Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nekavela.
Let's be seated. 142. We often bring this prayer up for Shabbat, for the Friday evening, moving into Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, of course, may peace be upon you. But it's always this invitation to Malachei HaSharet. These translations will say these ministering angels. And the Sharet is also to serve, so you understand where ministering comes from. These are angels that are sent, according to our mystics, to take care of us, to be with us. I feel like there's been so much heartache that we need this little extra presence to be with us. But sometimes there's some of us that might say, angels, really? Come on, Rabbi. I really do believe in my heart of hearts that we can be those angels, taking care, accompanying, walking with, holding up, supporting other people. We just have to try and let that happen once in a while. And I know it's not so easy because we always have these pushes and pulls, but this is a good time to have some angels in our lives who are wishing us Shalom Aleichem. 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Hayom, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Shalom, Malchei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We rise as we are able, 146.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
If we picked up one of our handouts, the top right of the page, our version of Ma'ariv Aravim, and then below it too is where we'll continue. The handout on the right side.
And again, we want to hear your voices, so don't hesitate to sing out.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Go red to dark, but light to light. Go red comes day, day turns to night. Go red, Lord, day goes shine. Day choshev day turns to night. Go red to dark, light, light. Go red becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Go red, Lord, the light, light. Go red, Lord, day goes shine. Go red, Lord, day goes shine. Day choshev day turns to night.
Roll into
Dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
our Shema. You can find the English text that comes at the end on this handout, and also the Hebrew text.
Children to hope, to love, and to know what is right.
Be seated. 158.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת.
158 still.
Adonis. Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Adonai yimloch leolam vaed.
Let's turn the page.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim l'chaim
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim l'chaim Ufos aleinu sukat shomecha v'taknenu v'etzah tova milfanecha v'hoshienu leman shemecha.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom
V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim l'chaim Ufos aleinu sukat shlomecha v'taknenu v'etzah tova milfanecha v'hoshienu leman shemecha.
We are now going to turn to page 164. And as we come to this part of the service, which is also called the Amidah, the standing prayer, we are going to rise in body or in spirit as we're able when we feel called to rise. So we are not going to all get up at once. When you feel that pull to rise and you feel ready to come into this space with us in song and prayer, we invite you to do so. Page 164.
Adonai שפתי תפתח, יללי לי לי ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד תהילתך.
שפתי תפתח, יאללה לי 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 ופי יגיד תהילתך, יאללה לי 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 אדוני, יאללה לי 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 שפתי תפתח, יאללה לי 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 ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד תהילתך, יאללה לי 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 אדוני, יאללה לי 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 שפתי תפתח, יאללה לי 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 ופי יגיד תהילתך, יאללה לי 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 אדוני, יאללה לי 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 שפתי תפתח, יאללה לי 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 ופי יגיד, יגיד תהילתך, יאללה לי 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 אדוני, יאללה לי 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 שפתי תפתח, יאללה לי 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 ופי יגיד תהילתך,
יאללה לי 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 אדוני, יאללה לי 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 שפתי תפתח, יאללה לי 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 ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד תהילתך.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Ve'Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלנו חסלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
May be seated. We move to our prayer for peace. You'll find it on 178.
We're going to take a moment now for our own silent prayers, reflections, meditations of the heart. And when we come back to our space together, we'll be on page 180.
Shalom, oh, say shalom b'Roma. Oh,
shalom. Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom b'roma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom b'roma. Ve'imeru amen. Ve'imeru amen.
If we look into our handouts in that middle section, we'll see that there's lots of names that have been shared with us, folks who are asking for a little bit of prayer, a little strength, a little love. And as we always do, we ask you, if you like, if you choose, to share names of folks that are on your mind who could use a little bit of love and prayer and strength from us. So if you'd like to call them out, we invite you to do so. We're going to take all of those who are ill, facing challenges. We'll turn to our prayer for healing again on this other handout we have on the top left. And we will see these words, El Na Refanallah, words that Moses said for his sister Miriam. Please, God, heal her. El Na Refanallah, the her. El Na Refanalanu, for all of us.
Dear God of our ancestors, help us renew our faith. Grant us a perfect healing. Bring peace to all our days. El Na Refana La Refana Lanu. El Na Refana La Refana Lanu. Restore our strength of body. Help clarify our minds. Refresh our tired spirits. Rejuvenate our light. El Na Refana La Refana Lanu. El Na Refana La Refana Lanu. precious gift of life. El na rifana la, rifana lanu. El na rifana la, rifana lanu. Rifana la, rifana lanu.
So the Torah portion for this week is called Kiddushim, and it's about holiness. And there was something this week that just kind of kept entering and re-entering my mind. Is a story that I learned really many, many years ago. It was about somebody who's called the Bach. Now, the Bach isn't really his name. It's the abbreviation of the book that he wrote. Famous rabbis used to be called by their books. It's a little weird, actually, if you think about it. And the book was Bayit Chadash, so they know him as the Bach. But his name was Yoel Sirkis. That was his name, Rabbi Yoel Sirkis. But the Bach was one of the greatest Torah scholars of his day. There's really no question about it. And he wanted to know who his neighbor would be after he died in heaven. This was really important to some of our mystics and scholars. They wanted to know who they'd be next to in heaven because, that was a long time. Now, before you start whispering to one another, yes, there is a Jewish idea of a heaven, and I know that you were lied to. So that's number one. The idea of heaven in Jewish tradition is not like what we imagine from Christian art, but there is more after this world. Not everybody buys into it, but there's an idea that this is out there. So this heaven, paradise, something, we still have to live with neighbors, but they're nicer. The Bach is wondering about his neighbor in the Garden of Eden in the next world. In Jewish tradition, we'll say that everybody actually has a neighbor, someone whose spiritual qualities are similar to your own, which I think is a fascinating teaching. So the Bach was curious and says to God, because the Bach and God were tight, who's going to be my neighbor? And God really liked the Bach. So God tells the Bach who his neighbor is going to be. And so the Bach travels to Lemberg, which we know of as Lvov, and another kind of Ashkenazi town in Ukraine. So he goes to Lemberg to figure out who this person is, who must be an amazing scholar, somebody who can talk Torah and Talmud the same way as the Bach. And his name is Yankala, because that's everybody's name in a story. And the Bach is super excited. He must be studying day and night, a real scholar. So he goes to Yankala's house. He gets there, he knocks on the door, and he explains the situation, not the whole story, because it sounds a little weird, but he does say that I'm here and I'd like to meet you. And the Bach is so well known, Yankala brings him into his house, sets him up real nice. Now, Yankala was a very successful person in this Jewish town, and he had a good family, he had a good job, there was resources, like he was somebody who was really a good, thoughtful, leading figure in the community. And the Bach thought that he was a really nice guy, but why so special? Somebody who's going to be next to me, not me, the Bach, right? Somebody who's going to be sitting next to me in heaven, in paradise, for the rest of eternity. This is supposed to be somebody really extraordinary, but he was all right. He was thoughtful. He prayed every day. He gave tzedakah in a meaningful way with what resources he had. And so the Bach was a little confused by the whole situation, and he was going to go back home. And just before he left, he hears that the Yankala is son is going to get married. Now, think about this in kind of pre-modern times, and even still in parts of the ultra-Orthodox world. Marriages were arranged, right? There were people that were picked for you by fathers. I don't recommend this anymore. I don't want the job. And there are these matches that are going to be made. And so the Bach says, all right, this is a special simcha. It's a wonderful thing. It's a joyous celebration. It's going to stick around for another week. And all of the preparations for this wedding are getting underway, and it's a lovely, lovely thing. And finally, it's the day of the wedding. And everybody's so excited. And Yankala is a leading figure in the town. He's generous, he's thoughtful, he's knowledgeable, he participates, he supports people. People really wanted to come and surround and strengthen him and his family. It's his son that's getting married. And then all of a sudden, just as people are preparing to go under the chuppah, under the wedding canopy, you hear a boy's voice crying, just wailing right before the service. And Yankel is a little confused because, he made sure everybody in the whole town was invited to this, that nobody was going to be left out. Everybody should be happy. This was a wonderful thing, not just for his son or for himself, but for a whole community, because weddings are a sweet thing. And he didn't understand. So he tells one of the people that work for him, one of his servants, go and find out who's crying. Goes and finds out who's crying. And it turns out there's a boy the same age of the son who's getting married. And yes, they were boys, right? Because back in the day, you're like 18 years old. Another thing I don't recommend. And so they bring forward the boy that's crying. And Yankala asks this boy, what's the matter? What's going on? And the boy says, well, a few years ago, I was supposed to marry this girl. We were the match since we were 4 years old. And we actually did fall in love with one another. And we were looking forward to it, but my father lost his business and we lost all of our money. And back in those days, again, it was very much on a match and those resources and pulling them together. And a lot of fathers of brides back then would also want to make sure that there's some security for their daughter. But this boy really loved the girl who was getting married to Yankala's son. And he was just weeping. He was so sad about it. So Yankala turns to the bride and says, is this true? And she says, yes, we're really in love. We've always been in love. But I understand I'm not allowed to marry him. I have to marry your son. And Yankala then right away will say, nope, that's not going to happen. You know what we're going to do? And he brings his son over. He says, son, we're going to take you and this other boy, go back, give him your clothes. This other boy is going to be standing under the chuppah today. I'm going to take care of everything. All of the gifts that I was about to give to my son is now going to go to this stranger of a kid who Yankala heard weeping in the background. And the wedding is going to go on, and they're bringing together the couple that was really always supposed to be. And the Bach is watching all of this unfold. And remember, this whole time leading up until this, the Bach is this serious Torah scholar who's revered throughout the entire region. And Yankala is a nice guy. But now the Bach realizes why Yankala is so significant of a human being. When the Bach tells the story of what Yankala did, switching the grooms from his own son to this stranger, gave all of the resources, all of the gifts, even, what the groom was wearing to this other boy, so that the bride and the groom would be able to marry and be a real couple in love. The Bach was so moved by it all. When the Bach would tell the story, he would say, I've never seen a father dance at the wedding of his own son with as much joy as this man danced at the wedding of this boy that he didn't even know, whom he reunited with his intended bride. When I came to Lemberg, said the Bach, I couldn't understand why Yankala deserved to sit next to me in paradise. And when I left, I couldn't understand how I deserved to sit next to him. The Torah portion is Kedoshim. It's about holiness. And in Jewish tradition, we have like this tension. One is somebody who's holy is going to be following all of the rules. What we've been told are the rules. And then we have this other side about people who are living with generosity of spirit and ideas. And it's not about the rules, it's about what choices they're making. I think holiness in Jewish tradition is to try and live up to our godly potential. And it's not ritual or ethics. It is not traditions or generosity. It's all of it. It's a whole mixture being brought together. We have rituals not to follow the rules, but in order to make us more aware. Because it's so easy to forget who we are as we are just pushing forward in this world. The rituals, the learning, the Torah, all of that Jewish stuff is there to help us be grounded and try and be who we're supposed to be, who we ought to be, our potential of being a real human being. Because without the rituals, I'm not sure what the ethics are supposed to be for me. The ethics alone, without the ritual, without that kind of relationship between the two, would make me feel lost. And I want to be grounded. So in the Torah, it says, Kedoshim Tihiyu, you will be holy because I, Adonai, your God, am holy. We want to activate our godliness. Whatever sparks we feel might be inside of us, I think it can be extraordinary. And Yankala was just like this everyday guy. He worked hard, he made a living, he had a few bucks in his pocket, but he had an exceptional, generous soul. And the Bach, this amazing Torah scholar, in the end, thought that he didn't deserve to sit next to Yankala, to be his neighbor in paradise. So what does it get to teach us this Shabbat? I don't know, but it's a good story. But you know, I'm going to ask you to think about it. What can you take from that story, from those two men and their truths? What can you take for ourselves, connecting that for Kedoshim? So the last thing to share with you is, when we count between the days between Passover and Shavuot, we talk about this as counting the Omer, right? And every day of the week has this attribute connection to God. So every day of the week has an attribute associated with God and godliness. And it's not just every day, it's also every week. And you put the two together. So for this particular evening of looking at counting the Omer, we have two things that are coming together. One is Netzach, this idea of endurance or vision for a future or even eternity. And the one for the day is Tiferet, which is associated with compassion or balance or harmony, even radiance. So when you bring endurance and radiance and balance together, we can think of lots of different things. Is our compassion enduring? Are our life journeys, are they feeling in balance? Am I seeing something different this year? How am I journeying forward? The Bach was this great scholar who overestimated the value of Torah and learning and making it more significant than the Torah of living. And Yankala wasn't the scholar, but focused on real life. What's going to be the balance in the spiritual needs that we might have or that we might want to pursue? Does it have to be an either or? do I have to keep saying I don't need to do it because I'm not doing it right? Can we let go of the whatever somebody else might have said was right and try and figure out for ourselves what could be good and meaningful and fulfilling and inspiring? I think it's a both. It's a both and. So this is going to be the counting of the Omer. You can find it on page 570. We're going to count the 18th day. And this melody we've been learning, and I even put it on our Facebook page. You can join along with us, and then we'll read it at the end.
הנני מוכן ומזומן לקיים מצוות תעשה של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר. ברוך אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר, על ספירת העומר, על ספירת העומר, על ספירת העומר.
היום 18 יום שהם שני שבועות וארבעה ימים לעומר. Today is 18 days, which is 2 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. We rise as we are able for Aleinu L'Shabeach. We move to conclude with the bottom paragraph on 586, and then we will jump forward to 591.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו 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 אחד.
May be seated. 598. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. If you are observing a yahrzeit is the anniversary of one's death on the Jewish calendar. If you're observing a yahrzeit or in a period of mourning, and we will invite you, if you choose, to rise for a moment, share the name of the one whom you are remembering, And then after those names are shared, we'll continue with additional ones from the community. Yesh? Alice? We also remember Harriet Stein, the mother of Marnie Zapin, Morris Mandelbaum, the father of Katherine Johnson, and David Mandelbaum. Those yard sites that we recall for this week that's passed: William Backrack, Lou Brown, Lubika Brook, Carol Feldman, Janet Gardner, Irma Pearl Gilbert, Shirley Goldstein, Lester Greenberg. Yom HaShoah just passed, and so we remember the 6 million Jews who lost their lives in the Shoah. We remember Henry Kaiser, Gilda Kavar, Naftali Kaikov, Fred Koslov, Richard Levin, Philip Levin, Anita Mandelbaum, Molly Traub Math, Rose Maudlin, Jay Pinto, Abraham Pollack, Mirtha Ponesponia, Irving Ritter, Herman Rudolph, Paul Solomon, and Libby Schaefer. Again, 598 are the words for Kaddish. Our custom is to stand together, shoulder to shoulder, supporting our friends. 598, Yitgadal, V'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, V'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, V'chai v'chon v'yom echon, V'chai dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agala u'vizman kariv v'meru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam omei maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, Shmei d'Kursha barechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'meru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'meru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'meru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, all who hurt, here and everywhere. Let's say together, Amen. You may be seated. Our closing prayer is on this handout, and as our friends come forward to lead us and guide us, a couple of things. We'll be grateful if we bring our Sidurim, our prayer books, back to those carts. We'll invite you to stay and have a little bit of a nash with us for our oneg. And folks in our community have heard over and over, we have this extraordinary opportunity not just to hear a concert this coming week on Wednesday with Achinoam Nini, a very famous Israeli musician and artist, but for me, we've organized this because with all of the hardships and heartaches we're feeling relating to Israel and peace, sometimes it's just time to gather. It's just time to gather. And we hope people in our community will come and gather, and we'll have, like, this will be our celebration of Yom Ha'atzmaut, of Israel's Independence Day, but it doesn't feel like a big party kind of a time. So we're going to sing, and we're going to be together. And it's Wednesday night, and tickets have been subsidized. We hope that folks will be able to join us Wednesday night at the Boulder Theater with Achinoam Nini and the Jewish community in Boulder County and beyond coming together to help us find a little comfort and a little hope.
And we're going to close with Ken Yehiratzon. And first, I just want to thank these wonderful humans for being here and helping us to really celebrate Shabbat with even more joy and to uplift our spirits. So we're going to start with Ken Yehiratzon. And as we are thinking of, we're going to say prayers for ourselves first, for I'll kind of direct you as we go, but let's draw close to ourselves for this first part and take a moment to offer ourselves and give ourselves an opportunity to say a prayer for ourselves. May we be safe, may we be free.
Saved, may I be free, may I find space to just be. Kein yehi ratzon, may I find my way back home. Kein yehi ratzon, may I find my way back home.
Let's call into our space, into this space, someone who we want to say a prayer for, someone who we love, who we feel good about, someone who is good to us. And let's offer them these words as a blessing.
May you be saved, may you be free, may you find space to just be. Kein yehi ratzon, may you find your way back home. Kein yehi ratzon, may you find your way back home.
Let's call into our space someone who is hurting, someone we know, someone we care about, or maybe someone who's hard for us. And let's offer them these words as a blessing.
May you be saved, may you be free, may you find space to just be. Kein yehi ratzon, may you find your way back home. Kein yehi ratzon, may you find your way back home.
Let's take this time to now say a prayer for all of us here tonight, for this community. May we find in ourselves the space where we feel safe. And may we come together and support each other, especially in these hard times.
May we be saved, may we be free, may we find space to just be. Kein yehi ratzon,
Shabbat Shalom to you. Wish your neighbors a Shabbat Shalom. Let's make a motzi outside. We can have a nash and greet each other together.